show, nighttv.ie and Irish News Radio. Today is Monday, so we'll have a look at finances among other things going on. So the Spanish election was a 75% turnout, so that looks good. They're getting worried in Europe as they say populism, so-called populism, is rising. They say that it could represent a quarter of the European Union votes. And if they stand together as a unit, they could actually change things and maybe make it even more slightly livable for the actual Europeans living in it. So we'll see what happens, hopefully. For the Irish, we're going to be hit by carbon emissions, climate change, global warming. Will all come to hit your pay pack very shortly. The Irish government stepping up its bullshit about the bullshit climate change and the hoax, just to basically made up to get cash from you, to get money from you, and to push up the fuel. That's prices. That's literally what it's all about. And a lot of idiots all believe it. I mean, the amount of people who believe the absolutely rubbish of it. It's obviously a hoax, and it's a huge money making hoax. Sri Lanka bans burqas and hijabs, but they allowed the hijabs. Basically because they're saying that, that obviously that you can't, because some of them went in and they weren't able to be identified. But the strange thing about all this is that they shut down churches, which is really strange, right? So they go on to protect mosques, but they shut down churches, casting terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. That's a quote from the Quran 8.60. Sri Lanka displaced thousands of security forces to protect mosques, but shut down churches. It's really quite strange. I understand the burqa thing, but this is really strange. Worried about Muslims, but they're not so worried about Christians. 350 now, the reports were killed and 500 injured. Insane. So a lot of them were Catholics. So rather than, protect the churches from further attacks, they ordered to close all Catholic churches and not hold any prayer services. This is really strange. But yet they put thousands of security forces to protect mosques. Mosques weren't attacked. It's insane, that New Zealand, the mosques get protected even in Ireland by the Gardaí and all over. Sri Lanka, no churches in Ireland or any other place gets protected, not even in Sri Lanka, after so many killed. 350 now the reports are up to. It's crazy. And instead they close the churches and protect mosques. Israel has given a warning for Jewish in Sri Lanka to leave because of the jihad attacks and failure to protect Christians. So even Israel is screaming for Jewish to actually leave because of the amount of Christians killed. Not that the Jewish were killed there, but, even saying, that they must leave for their own protection because of the pure failure to protect Christians. But, they seem to be protecting Muslims who haven't been attacked. Thousands of forces to protect mosques, but said it would be impossible to protect churches. What strange. Three churches and 4 hotels were attacked. Now, they said that there's an attack on its way. There's another attack coming. And this one, jihadists will be wearing military uniform. Another wave of attacks using religious covers to escape. This is why they're banning the burqa and the hijab, because they used religious covers to escape by concealing their identities. So it just shows you terrorism has a religion, and the religion is called Islam. For all the ones who say, oh, terrorism has no religion, yes it does. It has a religion and it's called Islam. Anybody who's read the Quran will know that. Went on to Facebook and Twitter to say we will kill all Kafirs, spill their blood all over this country. I presume Islamics went on to say that. And I presume they're talking about Sri Lanka. So that's pretty scary, a bit weird, but at least they have, I suppose, banned the burqa. It's something. Colombia has banned the burqa as well, which is a good thing. It's crazy though, closing down churches and protecting mosques. As news from Ireland, farmers have stormed allied Irish banks meeting in protest at the sale of the loans to vulture funds to protect farm loans sold to the state-owned bank. AIB proposing to sell loans of people who are genuinely trying to repay their debt. AIB must withdraw the loans of people who are genuinely trying to engage and take back what they say that they are doing. Farmers confront AIB shareholders. Gardaí were called in to protect their shareholders against angry farmers. IFA vowed to continue the campaign until the banks withdraw all farm loans from the sale. 2,000 non-performing loans, bad loans, to the US funds. So that's obviously the vulture funds are going to. It's a complete mess. Like our country's been sold out under our feet. It's already been sold. I think the mess happened when the bailouts and possibly before when they signed the 43% debt. We're just watching our country go. As I said to you before, they will get rid of cash. So, that is the next stage. We are in the last days. I think I don't see a good thing happening. I don't think many people are awake, and they're very proud of it. They're almost boasting how leftist this government and this country is, and how happy they are in being a slave, and 95% of them happy with the EU, and how slave minded they are. I don't know if it's because we're ex-colonial state that we do have this sort of Stockholm syndrome or slave mentality that we don't have a wish, considering all our talk about 1916 and independence and sovereignty. We don't seem to, unless it's the media. The media is very much paid off by the Irish government anyway to come out with bullshit, but we don't seem to have. And talking to people around, other than people who I know in my group and are like-minded, but there's quite a lot of Irish who really are quite happy with the EU and are quite happy that Ireland will no longer be Irish, will be something else. And in fact, talking to people, there's quite a lot of people who like the idea that, and have a very much anti-Irish view, like the anti-Irish government. They're very anti the Irish language. They're very anti-Irish people and the culture and the heritage and the history. They want something else that's not Irish, that is actually not of any country or of any identity. And they're quite happy with this huge amount of migration from third world countries. It's not necessarily, I think a lot of them even know that they're not genuine cases. Some of them maybe, believe the bullshit, but I think even a lot of them can see through it, but they don't want to see through it, or that they're quite happy that they seem to have had such huge anger towards Ireland, and they blame the Catholic Church on everything and the Irish people. It seems to be a huge wave of anger, so I don't see a future for Ireland. I really don't. It's really quite sad, because I don't really think there is a huge amount of support to protect Ireland, and I think it's quite amazing. The British seem to have a lot more love for their country than the Irish, who used to scream on about how they love to be Irish. Suddenly seems to have disappeared. Maybe it's just our media, but it is quite scary, the amount I've talked to people who just love Ireland becoming non-Irish. It's sad times we're living in. Again, thank you for listening to the Bon Ree Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio. Tomorrow we'll have the Gruesome Tuesday, so we'll be talking about some disgusting acts in Islam, and we'll be going over them and why it happens. And as I explained, there is 3 main books: the Quran, the Hadith, the Sunnah, and they all run together. So to know Islam, you need to read it, but it's all black and white. Like, it's it's not just a religion, and it does have jihad as part of it. Like all of ISIS and any other terrorism and that happens, they didn't pick it up off the street. It's all written in black and white. And for people who go on about the Old Testament, as I've explained 100 times before, was before Jesus Christ. So it was before Christianity. Yes, there is commandments from that, but Jesus Christ came because we were killing and raping and, doing all the things that Islam was pretty much doing. We're nearly as bad as Islam in the Old Testament. And Jesus Christ came to show us the way. And he is God. He is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost all in one. That is the major difference. Jesus Christ went and saved people and protected people and created miracles. Muhammad killed 800 Jews personally and created terror and raped and murdered and was a paedophile and was a warlord. There's huge difference, and that is why you have so much gruesomes, and that is why the elite love it, because they're into paedophilia. And that is why we're in a bad situation in this country. And it links to a lot of those children who are gone missing. Again, thank you for listening on the Bon Ree Show on ITV.ie and Irish News Radio.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.